Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Aave link and Avax price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis. We're gonna start with Aave on the all-time history where we have our impulse toward the upside, finished wave A or wave 1. And in this case, you would like to see, of course, a correction in both case scenarios where we have a W, X, and a Y, finished wave 2 here, or a wave B. Of course, this wave B can be also finished over there, and we can see, of course, something moving toward the upside here, which it can be, of course, a wave C as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 impulse, or in case we are in a wave 3, also you would like to see an impulse for a wave 3 in the yellow scenario. Now, if we are still bearish here, you are looking therefore for a bigger correction, A, B, and a C, where you might still hit, of course, the 1-to-1 fib level as an A, B, and a C. However, very far possibility, especially, of course, regarding to this time required here for this correction, knowing that even the 0.38 was not even hit here for Aave. Therefore, there is a possibility here for continuation for this sideways, which it might be, of course, a triangle here in a wave B, of course, because it's not allowed to have a wave 2 as a triangle. Therefore, wave B might still be unfolding here as an A, B, and a C toward the upside as a zigzag. And then because, of course, the 0.38 is a little bit suspicious here, which was not hit, of course, only on the logarithmic chart, but on the linear chart, of course, is taken and more than enough as well. But yeah, on the logarithmic chart, it looks like a very sideways correction here might be unfolding for Aave. However, if we are a 1-2 and another 1-2 here, we're looking therefore for a massive wave 3, 4, 5, 4, 5 towards the upside. And that's because you have double impulses here with correction as wave 2, unless this is simply a zigzag finished and you're looking for another zigzag downward, which is a continuation for a potential triangle here. If we dive deeper inside it on the 2 hours chart, we can see that we have already, after this wave 1, 2 here, we have a wave 1, ABC wave 2, and you have another impulse here, finished wave 1, as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, another W, X, and a Y, again, another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and potentially here, in case you are in a wave 2, you have hit perfectly the 0.618 as well, which is perfect fib levels for a wave 2 here. So potentially you are in several 1-2s. However, because several 1-2s here is too much, and it starts, of course, to reduce the scenario for bullish, knowing that the momentum is looking very towards the upside here, whether from the lows or from the highs. Potentially we might see, of course, something unfolding for higher in Aave. But I'm thinking here as much higher possibility that it might be, of course, a leading diagonal here, unfolding potentially as an A, B, and a C, and probably this wave C still unfinished yet, and still, of course, can be kind of like an ending diagonal here after having a kind of like an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Probably having much more impulses downward somehow like this in a diagonal to finish a potential A, B, and a C, or probably even an A, B, C in an expanding flat, which it can turn also in W, X, and a Y, in case you only get, of course, 2 waves. Now, in case we are in several 1-2s and we said, okay, we want to test this area, and it looks like after testing it, right now we see, of course, something moving toward the upside, but don't forget that this is an impulse downward 5 waves, and it's very normal to see some rejection and some rebound toward the upside in case, of course, we are impulsive, meaning can be, of course, an A, B, and a C still toward the downside, or a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in an expanding flat A, B, and a C. So we still gotta be careful, of course, with this one, because the next target I would say here for Aave, let's take the 0.38, which is minimum requirement as well, because if we pass, and let's start here the scenario at one after the other, of course. If we pass this area and we break it and we take invalidation of bullish here, meaning you might, of course, move downward for a potential wave 1-2 here. Meaning the wave 2 here for this leading diagonal might still be unfolding around the 0.38, which is minimum requirement in a wave 1 and a 2 here. And that means, of course, that this wave 1, 2 is a leading diagonal that it might unfold. I'm going for hours chart here so we can see it much better. And that means, of course, that you have here potential leading diagonal, which it might be, of course, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, wave 1, A, B, and a C, wave 2, and then moving toward the upside. Yep, so these are the potential scenarios right now. I'm looking, of course, probably for an answer over there if we see higher prices and if we see like something impulsive as 5 waves moving towards the upside. Currently I see only 3, so I would like to see 5 waves up, that it looks impulsive or leading diagonal, then 3 waves down, and then breaking this high, taking it as confirmation, plus later on, of course, to test the 1-to-1 fib level. If broken, therefore, okay, we are bullish in several or multiple 1-2s here. Yep, so that was it for Aave. Let's see the next one, which is Link. So starting with Link, also on the all-time history here, we're gonna see what do we have. So for Link, also we have a nice impulse toward the upside where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, finished wave A or wave 1. After this, we see a very complex structure correction of the W, X, Y, X, and a Z. With this correction, we have finished here potential wave B or a wave 2. And of course, we are looking for higher prices. Now, we saw, of course, an impulse as a wave 1. We saw correction, another correction, and finally, again, another correction, which is a W, X, and a Y here. Finishing wave 2, or even it can be a running flat finishing an ending diagonal or an impulse in a wave 2. And of course, moving towards the upside, meaning 1, A, B, and a C, wave 2, 1, 2, again 3, 4, and a 5, still looking for higher. We're gonna see this, of course, in the lower time frame. Now, if we are much more corrective or bearish, the correction here is, of course, a longer sideways again as a triangle where we might see an A, B, and a C, D, and an E, which is only can be a wave B here for after, of course, this triangle. Because wave 2, of course, is not allowed again to be a triangle. We are only in a wave B, and then we might see only a wave C at 1-to-1 fib level. In case we are bearish here, for the bearish, you might be here in a bigger, of course, correction, still looking for an A, B, C, and still looking for lower. The wave C still can be a wave 2 as well, and then moving toward the upside in a wave 3. However, very far possibility right now. We need more indications for this. We need invalidation for this impulse first, and to see, of course, something else unfolding downward or sideways at least. So let's move inside it to see what's going on. On the 2 hours chart, we are looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After even wave 1 here finished, wave 1, 2, and you're looking here at a possible wave 3 finished in this yellow scenario. Meaning, you are looking right now after a wave 4, where your wave 4 has to hit the 0.23 minimum target for a wave 4 and start the move toward the upside. Currently, we are looking at definitely a correction in 3 waves, because this, if in case it is wave 4, it has interfered with the zone 1, meaning no impulse here. 3 waves down, 3 waves up, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So we're still looking for one more leg toward the downside here. Of course, invalidation for this one more leg is given over there, invalidation of bearish. And in this case scenario, if the price emerged towards the 24.4, therefore, this might be, of course, your invalidation of bearish, and that means it might have finished in W, X, and a Y. However, very low possibility. I still believe this is gonna unfold to reach the target and reach the time, and of course, start the move toward the upside sooner or later in a wave 5. The targets for a wave 5 here is $49, $39, of course, for Link. Yep, so that was it for a Link in highest possibility. Until that far, we cannot consider any kind of a bearish scenario unless we get, of course, invalidation over there, invalidation of bullish, which is still very, very far. $18 for Link. All right, let's see the next one, which is Avax. So for Avax, on the all-time history again, always, we go to here we go. So we have on the all-time history here for Avax, we have a potential impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as well. Finished wave 1 or a wave a very deep correction and complex to finish wave B or a wave X. And of course, we cut something like an impulse here, which it might be your wave 1, followed by a structure corrective here, which might be your wave 2 as a 1, 2, and you're looking for 3, 4, 5 toward the upside. However, I doubt it a little bit. Why? Because, of course, yes, this is an impulse, but this correction is very long in time. And it started to set a little bit a question mark here, why we have such a long correction. Wave 2 would have finished there and continue toward the upside. Therefore, the possibilities here for Avax are a little bit shaky. It might be that you are in a potential triangle A, B, C, D, E here. So we have to be careful because the wave E is very close to be finished at the 1-to-1 fib level. And we might dive deeper, of course, here after such a correction, which finishes a wave E toward the upside, meaning a reversal might unfold. So we gotta be careful with this one. Another possibility is, of course, a longer correction, A, B, and a C here. A, B, and a C can be possible, and then start to unfold something towards the upside. However, we cannot yet consider this before taking, of course, invalidation of this triangle, because, of course, this is a priority. And also, we cannot consider even the triangle before, of course, taking the low here. Once we take the low, okay, then I consider this is a finished zigzag there for a wave E, and we might dive deeper. So these are the possibilities. Now, if you are still here in an impulse and a wave 2, well, we need a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this unfolding? Let's move inside it. So if we move inside it to see what's going on in the Avax here, we have an impulse, ABC wave 2. Okay, that's fine. Very deep one, but still fine. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a wave 1. Currently, if you are looking after a wave 2, well, that is looking like a correction, but I don't know what is going on with Avax with the long sideways range always when it comes for a wave 2. Maybe it's a characteristic, but it's not really nice. However, if we have an A, B, and a C, you're still looking for this box here in confluence as 1-to-1 fib level that we might have here, of course, as a regular flat 0.5 and 0.618, and more precision is $20 1-to-1 fib level A, B, and a C exactly over there to finish a 1, 2, and then continuation towards the upside. Those are the updates for Link, Aave, and Avax. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.